Assalamualaikum and very good morning to Madam AZLIN and my fellow friend. Today we are from Group 1. We would like to present a poster regarding money laundering and banking secrecy to fulfill the requirement of banking law subject. So what is money laundering? Money laundering is the illegal process of making large amount of money generated by criminal activities such as drug trafficking, human trafficking, and terrorist funding appear to have come from a legitimate source. The money from the criminal activity is considered dirty and the process launder it to make it look clean. According to the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, UNODC, the estimate amount of money laundered globally in 1 year is 2 to 5% of global GDP, which is 800 billion to 2 trillion dollar. Due to the clandestine nature of money laundering, it is, however, difficult to estimate the total amount of money laundering that goes through the laundering cycle. In Malaysia, the Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activity Act 2001, or we call AMLA, is the primary statute governing the AML and CFT regime in Malaysia. The Act was gazetted as law on 5 July 2001 and came into force on 15 January 2002. The AMLA provides for the offence of money laundering and terrorism financing and the measure to be undertaken for the prevention of money laundering and terrorism financing offence. After this, my friend will present the step taken by the criminal to launder money and also how banking secrecy play an important role in this crime. So I will pass to my friend. Thank you.
The first stage of money laundering process is called the placement stage. In the placement stage, the cash generated from criminal activities is converted into monetary instruments such as cash, check, wire transfer, money order, or even traveler's check. It is then deposited into accounts of financial institution. The institution may be anything from a brokerage house or bank to a casino or insurance company. This is the very initial stage where the cash is getting placed into the legal system. The second stage is layering. It involves the process of creating multiple layers of transaction where the funds are transferred or moved into other accounts or other financial institutions to further distance the illegal funds from their illegal sources, to separate the money from its criminal origin. The purpose of layering is to obscure to make it difficult to trace the origins of the fund.
Now we take a look at the last step in money laundering, which is integration. In integration, the illegal funds are accounted for by adjusting a legitimate transaction. For instance, ordinary goods may be sold for a particular price, but the invoice will value them much higher. Then, the money obtained from the sale of these goods is deposited into the account with the dirty money. The false invoice would then account for both the legitimate profits and the illegal funds. At this stage, it will be quite difficult to detect the illegal funds as the funds would appear legitimate. Now let's summarize the process of money laundering. The first stage is placement, where you can see the money is getting placed into various bank accounts or financial institutions. Then this money gets layered through wire transfer, bank deposit, offshore bank accounts, and even on trade basis. And from there, the next stage is into the integration stage, where the money is used to purchase luxury assets. It could also be for financial investment, commercial, and industrial investment. So this is a typical money laundering process.
Okay, next is from me about bank secrecy. As a banker, we own its customer a duty of secrecy at all times, including an obligation to keep information about the affair secrets. This is a contractual obligation that is indicated by the banker-customer relationship. According to Section 133(1) of Financial Service Act No person who has access to any document or information relating to the affairs, account of any financial institution customer, including the financial institution, or any person who has been be a director, officer, or agent of financial institution shall disclose any document or information relating to its affair or account of any financial institution customer to another person. Although there are many advantages arising from secrecy rule, but we must remember that banking secrecy is also open to abuse. It is notable that criminals and money launderers have been taken full advantages of banking secrecy to launder the process of crime. In fact, for criminals, banking secrecy provision provide a welcome relief because they can be exploited to avoid detections. According to study conducted by United Nations in 1998, bank secrecy is also used by criminals to launder illegal proceeds in the following ways. This is also from Chin 1995.
The next act is Act Section 134(1) of the Financial Services Act prescribe permitted disclosure for circumstances embodied in Schedule 11 or if approved in writing by Bank Negara Malaysia. Section 134(1) provide that a financial institution or any of its director or officer may for such purpose or in such circumstances set out in the first column 17 of Schedule 11 disclose any document or information relating to the affairs of account of its customer to such person specified in the second column 18 of that schedule, or disclose any document or information relating to the affair or account of its customer to any person where such disclosure is approved in writing by the bank. For the purpose of combating money laundering, Para 7 of the first column of Schedule 11 permit disclosure for the purpose of compliance with an order or request made by an enforcement agency in Malaysia under any written law for the purpose of an investigation or prosecution of an offence under any written law. Indeed, the exception to the secrecy rule allows some information to be disclosed to facilitate police investigation, and it was found that this rule is a powerful tool in investigation involving malpractice in the banking sector. Therefore, the Act Section 134(1) of the Financial Services Act prescribe permitted disclosure will assist and facilitate financial or banking institution, Bank Negara Malaysia, or regulatory bodies such as Suruhanjaya Pencegahan Rasuah (SPRM) to identify and find out the parties who involved in money laundering.
As presented by my friend, money laundering is a complicated crime that is very difficult to track. So, with the assistance of Anti-Money Laundering Act and Banking Secrecy Act, it will help the banking institution and the investigator to detect this crime. Under Section 4 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act, any person who commit a money laundering offence and shall on conviction be liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 15 years and shall also be liable to a fine of not less than 5 times of the sum or value of the proceed of an unlawful activity or instrumentality of an offence at the time the offence was committed, of 5 million ringgit, whichever is the higher. In conclusion, money laundering is devastating for the economy of a country, and with the Banking Secrecy Act, it will help Malaysia to prevent this crime from happening. So that's all from us. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.